We are now going to start a background on Eve's family tree. This is a picture taken of the old homestead, which was Melba's older house over at Central. In the picture we have Desley Knouse, Eva's mother, as the baby. In the chairs in the center sitting is Stanley Stout and Lena Stout, Eva's grandmother and grandfather. Sitting in the rocking chair on either side is Harriet Stout and John Stout, Eva's great-great-grandfather. Standing is Freddie Stout, Leon, Carrie, and Sherry Stout. That last one was Shirley Stout. This will be, the first pictures will be on Eva's mother's side of the family. This is Joshua and Harriet Davis, the father of Lena Stout, which was Desley's mother. The picture we just saw was Harriet and Joshua Davis. Now this is Harriet's father and mother, and Harriet when she was younger. Their name
Elizabeth and Newton.
What?
Elizabeth and Newton.
Elizabeth and Newton Harrington. This is about as far back as we can go on this side. This is Elizabeth and Newton Harrington in their older years. This is Eva's grandfather, Stanley and Lena Stout, on their wedding day. This is Lena Stout as a baby, Eva's grandmother. This is Stanley and Lena Stout as Eva's grandfather and grandmother, with Desley and Melba Stout, Eva's mother and her aunt. This is Lena Stout as Eva's grandmother and Desley Stout, Eva's mother. This is Lena Stout, Eva's grandmother, and Desley, and Melba, and Neva. This is in front of the old homestead where they were raised. This is also where Eva was raised, Eva and Harriet. This is Eva's mother, Melba, and Neva Stout, when they were quite young. Eva's mother, Desley. This is Lena Stout, Eva's grandmother, Desley Stout, which was the oldest of the 3 children they had, Melba Stout, and Neva Stout, and they raised Robert Snyder. They raised him. This is Eva's grandfather, Stanley Stout and her grandmother Lena Stout. This is Harriet Hess Stout, would be Stanley Stout's mother. This is Stanley Stout, that's Eva's grandfather, and his uncle Jacob Stout. This is Harriet Harrington Stout, be Stanley Stout's mother. John Stout, which is Eva's great-grandfather, had a sugar camp over behind Melba's. This picture shows John Stout sitting by the sugar kettle, Freddie Stout with the yoke on, used for carrying maple sap in the buckets, and Harriet Stout on the end. They made maple syrup over there, and so did Eva's grandfather, Stanley, made maple syrup for years in that area.
Or did I say Shirley?
This is Freddie Stout, sitting on the hill across the road from Melba's house. He is Eva's great uncle. This is Eva's great uncle Shirley. That would be Stanley Stout's brother. This is Eva's great uncle Freddie, which is Stanley Stout's brother.
He married a Snyder.
This is Carrie Stout, Stanley's sister, would be Eva's great aunt. She married a Snyder. These are Eva's grandmother's sisters. That would be Lena Stout. This is Ella, Irma, Lizzie, and Lillian Davis. Lena, Eva's grandmother's name was Lena Davis Stout. This is Eva's grandfather, Stanley Stout, and then Eva's grandmother's sister, Lizzie, her sister Irma, and behind her is Eva's great uncle Norman Robbins, and Lena's sister Lillian. This is Lena Stout, Eva's grandmother's brothers and sisters. There's Clyde Stout, Lizzie, Irma, and Worry. Clyde, Lizzie, Irma, and Worry were all Davises. Sorry about that. Lena, Eva's grandmother, was a Davis. This is a picture of Herb Hess, Frank McEwen, Norman Robbins, Clyde Davis, Stanley Stout, Eva's grandfather, Warren Davis, Lillian Davis, Ella McEwen, Elizabeth Hess, Lena Stout, and Irma Robbins. This picture shows Lizzie Hess, Warren or Worry Davis, Lena Stout, Eva's grandmother, Irma Robbins, and Clyde Davis. Two brothers had already died, Ernie and Walter. This is Eva's grandfather in later years. The picture in the background is her grandfather and grandmother. Her grandmother was already dead by this time. Eva's grandfather used to raise ginseng. This picture was taken in the area where he raised it, but it's come out a little dark. This is Eva's grandfather over in the maple grove. They were getting ready to gather sap. Another picture of Eva's grandfather, Stanley Stout. This is Eva's mother, Desley Knouse, and her Aunt Melba Knouse, Melba Stout, and Lena Temple. This is Eva's grandfather and the pet deer Mary they had over there. This is Eva's grandfather, John Knouse. We'll be working down the Knouse side of the family now. This is Eva's grandmother, Anna. On the left is Doyle Knouse with the sheep. On the right is Eva's father, Charles. This is the house they used to live in over above. Now we're going to start the Knouse side of Eva's family. Her grandfather's name was John Knouse. In this picture you see John Knouse's wife Anna and his son Doyle on the left, and on the right is Charles Knouse, Eva's father. This house is on the hill above Benton, still standing today. This is Eva's grandfather, John Knouse, Charles's father. This is John Knouse and his wife Anna and Charles Knouse, Eva's father. This is a picture of John Knouse when he was younger, Eva's grandfather. This is Eva's grandmother, Anna Knouse. Eva's great-grandmother was Fidelia Goss. This is Eva's Aunt Edna and Uncle Hetler Knouse. This is Doyle Knouse, Charles's brother, and his wife Nora. This is Eva's Uncle Doyle and Aunt Nora again. This is Jack Knouse, son of Doyle Knouse, and his wife Betty, and their two children, Janet and John. This is Eva's Aunt Edna when she was small, Charles's sister. This is Eva's Aunt Edna when she got older, Charles's sister again. This is Edna's daughter Loretta. She died when she was younger. These are Eva's Aunt Edna's children or in-laws. There's Alvin, Theodore, Doyle, Bill, Leroy, Claire, Bobby, Gladys, Pauline, Gloria, Stella, Harriet, and Bobby's wife. This is Eva's Uncle Hetler and Aunt Hazel. He's Charles's brother. This is Eva's Aunt Hazel. This is Eva's Uncle Hetler. He worked on the railroad same time Charles did. This is Eva's Uncle Hetler and Aunt Hazel's son, Donald and Bud, in the Army down in Florida with Leida Fresh. This is Eva's Uncle Hetler, Charles's brother. This is Hetler's son, Bud Knouse. This is Donald Knouse, Hetler's son. This is Dorothy Jean, Hetler's daughter. This is Dorothy Jean and her children. This is Melba Stout and Neva Stout. This is Melba Stout and Tony Appleman. This is Melba Stout and Stanley Temple. This is Melba and Desley Knouse. This is Free Temple and his wife Neva on their wedding day. This is Melba Stout. She's holding Lena Temple. This is Neva Temple holding Ronnie Temple. This is Eva, Helen, Beatrice, and Virginia. Helen, Eva, Harriet, Virginia, and Beatrice. Lena, Eva's Aunt Neva, with Franklin, Dorothy, Virginia, Beatrice, and Helen Temple. This is Lena Temple. This is Lena Temple and Sammy Lawball, Lena's first husband. Lena when she was smaller. This is Lena Temple as a baby. Back row on this picture is Melba and Neva Stout. Second row is Eva's grandmother Stout, Helen, Doretha, Virginia, Stanley, Lena Temple, and Eva's grandfather. Front row is Desley. She's holding Amy, Dorothy, Harriet, and Eva. This is Lena with their wedding cake after her and Sammy Lawball were married. Dorothy Temple. This is Stanley Temple. Another picture of Stanley Temple. This is Helen and Franklin Temple. This is Helen Temple. This is Virginia Temple. Free and Neva had 9 children. We continue to show members of their family. This is Beatrice Temple. This is Franklin Temple. This is Ronnie Temple. This is Free and Neva's youngest boy, Junior Temple. This is Franklin and Ronnie Temple when they were younger. This is Franklin, Ronnie, and Junior Temple. This is Melba, Desley, Neva, and Free Temple. This is Eva and her grandfather, Junior Temple, and our oldest boy, Junior Goss. This is Eva's father and mother, their wedding picture. This is Eva's father and mother, Charles and Desley Knouse, just before they left on their wedding trip. This is Desley Knouse, Eva's mother when she was small. This is Eva's father and some men he worked with when he worked on the railroad. The arrow points to Charlie. This is Charles along the creek over back of Melba's. This is Charles Knouse when he was younger and a calf he was raising. A picture of Eva's father and mother. Picture of Eva's mother and her mandolin. Picture of Eva's mother. There's a picture of Eva's mother and their dog Laddie. Eva's father and mother and her Uncle Doyle and Aunt Nora. This is Eva's mother with icicles across the road from where they lived over there. Picture of Eva's mother. Picture of Eva's mother. Another picture of Eva's father. Father with his pet rooster. This is Mrs. Harriet Keller, was Charles Knouse's cousin.
Her husband was Warren Keller.
Her husband was Warren Keller. Another picture of Eva's mother. This is Desley Knouse carrying an armful of arbutus. Another picture of Charles and Desley Knouse, Eva's father and mother. This is Eva's mother. could have been taken over to beaver dams. This picture was taken when Desley was working over at the Duplin silk mill
During the war.
during the Second World War. Picture of Eva's father and mother. This is a picture of Eva's sister Amy. She died when she was 9 months old. This is Harriet as a baby. Another picture of Harriet as a baby. Another picture of Harriet. Another picture of Harriet. Picture of Harriet. This is Harriet, Eva, and Jerry. Picture of Harriet. Harriet when she was younger. Graduation picture. This is Archie and Harriet Hess. This is Archie and Harriet and their two boys, Dave and Chuck. Here's a picture of Chuck and Dave Hess, Archie's boys. A picture of Chuck Hess over at Melba's. This is Dave Hess. David and Chucky when they were smaller. There's Archie and Harriet and David and Chucky. This is David Hess. This is Darlene, Dave's wife, and his daughter Rita. This is a picture of Rita, Dave and Darlene's girl. Picture of Rita's latest school picture. Dave and Darlene's girl. Chucky's graduation picture. This is Chuck Hess and his wife Diane. This is Chuck, Diane, and CJ, their boy. This is Rita, Dave's girl, and CJ, Chuck's boy. This is Archie, Chucky, and CJ. This is Harriet holding CJ. This is a picture of CJ, Chucky's boy. There's one of Eva and Harriet and their dog Laddie. It's a picture of Eva's grandfather, Stanley Stout. Eva's grandfather and his dog. This one is Charles, Eva's father, Eva, Joanne, Melba, Albert, George Miller, and his sons Georgie and Jimmy. We had a birthday party, and all of the people in this picture had their birthdays in November. This is all the people that were at the birthday party on the previous picture. Albert, Neva, Floyd Goss, George, Archie Hess, Charlie, Knouse, Stanley Temple, Tony Appleman, Eva's mother, Harriet, Melba, Junior Temple, Dorothy, and her 3 children, George, Jim, and Dave, our boy Ken, Junior, and Joanne Goss. This is Melba Stout and Desley Knouse. This is Melba Stout. This is Neva Temple and Lena Temple. This is Eva in our 1949 Lincolns we used to have. The picture of Eva and Harriet and her mother. This is a school picture. Eva and Harriet are in the front row on the right in one marked with X's.
Our teacher was Geraldine Fomer.
This is Eva's graduation picture. She is the one in the second row, the second one in from the right. This is Eva and Marie Davis, one of the girls she went to school with. Harriet and her mother. This is Harriet and Eva and her mother. This is Melba Stout and Desley taken over at the nursing home. Bonham's nursing home. This is Desley, our Diane, and Kenny and Justin taken over at the nursing home. This is Eva and I and Desley taken over at Bonham's. This is Desley and I over at Bonham's. We had a birthday party for her last birthday. That's why all the pictures at Bonham's nursery here. Nursing home. This is Desley and Lonnie Goss. This is Eva Knouse, about 6 years old. The lady on the left is Eva Sutler. That's the one Eva was named after. The picture of Eva and Harriet taken up at Harvey's Lake. Eva and Harriet taken down at the Benton Park. This is Eva and Harriet. The picture was taken over at Stevens Hill where they used to go fishing. Another picture of Eva and Harriet taken up at Harvey's Lake. Harriet and Eva taken down back of Melba's house by the chicken coop. Another picture, Eva and Harriet. This is Eva and Harriet and their cats they had when they were younger. This is the house where Eva and Harriet was raised, up above Melba's house. It fell down now. This is high water when Eva lived over the other house. In the background is the outhouse. This is another picture of the high water over back of Melba's house. Another picture of Harriet and Eva. This is Lena and Harriet and Eva. This is Harriet and Eva and a different set of cats. It's Eva's mother and Eva. This is Harriet and Eva in front of the house where they were raised, over by Melba's. This was taken down to Benton Park. It's Desley, Harriet, and Eva. This is a picture of Eva taken while she was waiting for the school bus when she lived over by Melba's. It's Desley and Eva and Mary the deer. This is Helen, Eva, Harriet, Jenny, and Beatty. This is the hill across from where Eva used to live. You wouldn't know it now. It's all grown up with big trees. This is Lena, Melba, Stanley, Eva's grandfather, Harriet, and Eva. There's a picture of Harriet and Eva. Harriet, oh, it's Eva. Eva and the fish she caught over back of Melba's. This is Helen Temple and Eva. This is Eva and Melba's old house in the background. She's got a new house now. This is Eva sitting on a bridge that her dad built across the front creek. Here's Harriet with a banjo, Desley with a mandolin, and Eva with a trumpet. I bet they were some group. This is Harriet and Eva. Harriet and Eva and the pet deer Mary. This is Eva sitting on the back bumper of the Lincoln. She bought that while I was overseas. It's Harriet, Eva, and Desley. It's Eva and a whole bunch of sweet ferns. There's a picture of Eva with her cap and gown for graduation. This is Eva's graduation picture. This is another graduation picture of Eva. This is Eva's father and their dog Teddy. This is a picture of Eva's dog Jerry. This is a picture of Eva and I at our wedding, on our wedding day. A picture of Eva and I, Junior and Joanne. This is a picture of Junior and Joanne Goss. This is a picture of Eva's grandfather holding Joanne. This is a picture Eva had taken down at the fair. This picture was taken down here at Bethel in our church. Junior and Joanne are the first two sitting on the left. This is Eva and I and Junior and Joanne. This is Eva and Junior. This is Eva and Junior and Joanne. This is Eva holding Diane, Harriet, Jerry, and Melba, and Junior, Joanne, and Ken. This is Eva, Lonnie, me, and Eva's mother. This is a picture of Eva. A picture of Eva working in her flower garden. This is a picture of Melba's old house. This is a picture of Eva's grandfather, Stanley Stout, when he was young. This is Melba, Eva's grandfather, Neva, Stanley, Lena, Lizzie, and Virginia. This is a picture of the Dilt School over at Grassmere. Eva's mother went to school there. She is in this picture, and she is the one with the arrow pointing to her. This is another picture of the Dilt School with the arrow on the side of the schoolhouse pointing to Desley Knouse. She went to school here also. This is a paper Eva's mother got from the Dilt School. It was for the year from September the 12th, 1910 till April the 6th, 1911. This is another picture of the Dilt School. Desley is marked with an X and an arrow pointing to it. This is another picture of the Dilt School. Desley is marked with the X above her. This is a picture of the trailer Desley got shortly after Charlie died. She moved it up here to our place. She only lived in a short time till she moved in with us, and she lived with us 18 years. This is the building that Desley added on to her trailer. Zane Hartman put it on for. I use it for a workshop now. This is a metal building Desley bought from Sears Roebuck. We put it together. This is Eva in her 1949 Lincoln. This is a picture of Eva and I. This is a picture of Eva and me, Eric, Diane, Joanne, Angie, Richie, Kenny, and Justin.